The Sisters of Silence, Oblivion Knight, Centura. Drawn from the elite ranks of the Chamber of Oblivion, the Oblivion Knights Centura serve as the battlefield commanders of the Sisters of Silence. Elevated as a result of their seniority, martial prowess, and power as psychic nulls, they are afforded use of the rarest weaponry the Sisters of Silence can bring to bear, and charged with the inviolate duty of commanding both the tactical operations of the Great Tithe and the sworn duty of destroying rogue psykers deemed too dangerous to live. Each Oblivion Knight Centura is the unquestioned mistress of her own mission, forced through not only the strict customs of the Order, but the trust placed in her abilities by those under her command. A respect earned over perhaps decades of active service, their mortal lifespans extended by the same alchemical treatments by which the nobility of terror sees out centuries of life despite their mortal birth. While never a codified sanction, Sisters of Silence, showing marks of age and long service, either physiologically or woven in with the subtle marks of their panoply, are often informally revered by their peers for their ability to survive and their knowledge, even if it were both formally at the same rank within the command structure. Legio Custodes Shield Captain. Within the Legio Custodes, there exists a range of ranks and seniority of commands, far from transparent to outsiders, to which the more general application of Shield Captain is applied. Though, within the Legio, such ranks range from Prefect to Lictor, Proconsul to Tribune, following the ancient patterns of Terra's lost history. Elevated both through the trust held among their peers for their judgment and skill, but first and foremost advanced by the direct approval and in some cases intervention of the Emperor himself. These are warriors not only of consummate and superhuman ability, but also rare insight, acumen, and knowledge. Afforded the rarest and finest of the Imperium's arms, each of these legendary fighters commanded the Legio Custodes against all manner of threats against the Emperor, his works and his domains, and whether their command concerned a dozen of their brethren detached to stand beside one of the Space Marine legions in battle, or 1,000-strong company paved the way for the Emperor to walk upon some world of the Dark Frontier, they bore with them the might and power of their Legio manifested in a single indomitable warrior. The Sisters of Silence Excruciatus Cadre. The Silent Sisterhood are more than warriors. They are hunters and investigators, charged to root out that which is hidden, tear through webs of lies and superstitions, and leave no stone unturned in their ceaseless task to find the Psyker. In the event of a conspiracy to conceal one of the Witchborn, be it through the wayward love of close family, the workings of a malign cult, or even a whole rebellious world contempt for a disruption of the Imperial Tithe, the Excruciatus cadres of the Silent Sisterhood are deployed to ensure that the individuals involved are brought to Imperial justice and that the rightful tithe is retrieved. Specialists selected from the ranks of the Sisterhood for their highly attuned perception, quick wits, and unfailing purpose. The silent judges of such cadres can identify the presence of nearby psychophenomena, sift truth from lies, and where needed, put those unfortunate enough to fall under their gaze to the question and wring forth answers from the most intransigent witness or conspirator. Nor is their work confined to the interrogation chamber. They are paramilitaries trained and equipped to carry out raids and tactical assaults against the most fanatical and nightmarish of foes, and carry an often esoteric array of weapons and equipment uniquely suited for the task. Janecia Kroll, Knight Commander of the Silent Sisterhood, Chief Investigatus Militant of the Divisio Astra Telepathica, the Witchbane, or the Soulless Queen. One of the most mysterious and indeed feared warlords of the Imperium, Janecia Kroll, or as the Remembrancers were wont to name her, the Soulless Queen, was the indomitable Knight Commander of the Silent Sisterhood. The foremost battle leader of her order, Janecia Kroll stalked the shadows of the Great Crusade at the behest of her master, the Emperor. She commanded whole armies of the Sisters of Silence on those few and dread occasions when such were required to take to the field, sought out and slew psykers turned would-be gods, and cut the lives short of those who aimed either to subvert or deny the great tithe, and brought down bloody retribution on any who slew those of her sisterhood. Assassin, general, avenger, and soul-chilling terror, Janecia Kroll was a creature of dark legend long before she was committed as part of the Honour Guard tasked with the retrieval of the Primarch Magnus, and later the raising of Prospero itself. Upon the battlefield of Tizca, Kroll was personally responsible for the division of her ranks into Protectorate detachments for the remainder of the Sentia host, a matter which allowed them to ensure the near destruction of the Thousand Sons legions at the sacrifice of thousands of her troops, while she herself sought out and slew many of the Thousand Sons' most vaunted sorcerers in hand-to-hand combat. So that by the time of the battle's ending, she appeared a spectral figure of some ancient myth, bedecked in the white dust of shattered marble and the spilled blood of multitudes. Janecia Kroll carries the Sword of Oblivion, fashioned in the manner of a highly ornate execution blade of her order. The Sword of Oblivion is in fact the pattern from which all others of its kind was said to have been made, and stands as the symbol of the High Commander of the Silent Sisters. The sword's true mastery lies in the substance of the blade itself, for it can cut almost anything without evidence of any kind of power field or disruption generator, its origins an enigma to all save perhaps the Emperor. Janecia Kroll has an acute sense of the fine balances of conflict, when to strike and when to stay her hand. Her strategic acumen, the march of any strategos of the Divisio Militaris. Proof of this came during the bloody war to liberate Mournful Gate from the clutches of Eldar slavers after the Great Crusade expeditionary commanders to which her cadre had been attached were assassinated as she was hunting down Eldar psykers. She herself assumed command of the terrified militia army and executed the Panish general staff and subordinate officers who remained, and thereafter succeeded in turning a disaster into the making of a triumph. The victory at Mournful Gate earned her the right to bear the laurels invictaris of a lauded general of the Imperium, the only one of her order to do so. She wears an enhanced Void Sheen cloak. The Void Sheen cloaks, worn by Oblivion Knights, are made from micro-vitreous mesh, designed to diffract and absorb energy, and are particularly effective against diffuse attacks. Those worn by the commanders of the Silent Sisterhood are further reinforced by refractor generators as mark of their rank and office. Constantine Valdor, Captain General of the Legio Custodes, the Shield of the Emperor, the first of the 10,000. Constantine Valdor sits at the right hand of the Emperor as perhaps his most trusted companion and guardian, a watchman of inviolable purpose and all but unmatched fighting skill. Such, in fact, is Valdor's martial power and superhuman physical and mental abilities that there are those, even within the Imperial Court, who have in whispers called him Primarch in all but name. This is no doubt a disingenuous claim, as for all his power, Valdor was made and trained to serve a different and far more focused purpose, that of Lord Commander of the Custodian Guard, and to Valdor the petty concerns of conquest and glory, dominion and victory are as nothing when compared to his own sworn duty. So while Constantine Valdor holds a rank in some ways higher than even that of a Primarch, and sits at the centre of imperial power on Terra, he seldom exercises his influence, save where his purview is directly concerned, and then never with ambition or aggrandishment. But should his purpose be challenged, or worse yet, should anyone or anything seek to endanger the Emperor or his chosen representatives, Valdor is as a demigod of vengeance made incarnate, unstoppable and relenting. Constantine Valdor carries the Apollonian Spear, believed to be crafted by the hand of the Emperor himself, and once wielded by the Emperor's own hand in battle as far back of the Unification Wars in which he rose to power on Terra. The Apollonian Spear was given to Valdor upon his ascension to the mantle of Chief Custodian, and it has served no other since. Like the signature armament of the Custodian Guard, it incorporates both a power blade and inbuilt bolter weapon, though in both cases these are of a potency far exceeding those even the Emperor's elite carry into battle.